Hi everyone, welcome to Tea Time with B and Kit. I'm B.
And I'm Kit. And today, what we're going to be discussing is that we're going to start normalizing that life may not be exactly what you think of.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have a lot of the moments in your life could be ups and downs. You could be going through a career change. You could decide all of a sudden that you want to start a coffee shop. You may decide that you know, you were always single and then now you're in a relationship, so you're navigating that. Maybe you've always been in a relationship and you're now navigating being single. And we're going to be normalizing that you're not a failure when life happens. Life's supposed to give you twists and turns and all what it brings you. And a lot of times, I know that society and culture, they like to make you think you are a failure.
Absolutely, especially in the South Asian community.
Exactly. But we're here to tell you that no, life will give you life. You're going to have ebbs and flows.
Yep.
But the one thing that we both have learned is that life's going to give you whatever you can take on, and it's up to you to decide how you're going to navigate it.
Yep.
So, B,
Yes.
what did you think your life would look like 5 years ago?
Well, I think we were still in England at the time and we hadn't made a decision to move back to America yet. So 5 years ago, Bhavna was back in the UK and just planning a life in UK with me and the kids. I would have been with Jazz and I would have been ever so lonely.
I can't imagine like how you were.
And even though we moved thinking that I was going to get a lot of support from my family and I was going to be around my immediate family and extended family members, it just wasn't the same when we moved back.
Mhm.
It was a very lonely period of time for me. And then COVID happened. Thinking back 5 years ago, yeah, I was just like, oh, my kids are just going to still be like primary school. They're going to, getting uniforms and like that, like getting on
Yeah.
with the day. It never occurred to me that, oh, we're all going to pack up and be in America.
Imagine that, like just packing up all your stuff, your belongings for you and your kids and moving across
And
the
doing it
ocean.
alone,
Yeah,
that was tough.
I can imagine that.
And what about you, girl? 5 years ago?
I know, I was thinking, and I think 5 years ago was like right after the pandemic. I was
Hmm.
working at a new job then, and I was on the track for leadership, and I was like hosting leadership meetings and doing all of these different things. But it's funny because then I didn't have the self-worth or confidence as I do now.
Hmm.
And the second thing is like you, I was very lonely. I think that the pandemic had made me into a hermit mode.
Hmm.
So it was like literally like working from home. Then it was working, navigating that, and then navigating like a life coaching business, and then just doing everything just at home. So I think that it was very lonely. And I think for me, it was a big shift as well because I was used to always being out, 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 go, 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 go. And it forced me to pause. I think
Hmm.
it forced the world to just pause and be at home and to start working on your home, working on you and just staying still. Um, 5 years ago is very different.
5 years ago was very different. So, what surprised you the most throughout this 5 year transition?
Yeah, I mean, a lot's happened in my life, and you too, be like a lot's happened. I
Mm.
mean, I think that it's like resilience. I think that one thing that I realize is how resilient I am,
Hmm.
and just overcoming, being resilient, and just all what life had to offer, like life throughout me, really. Overcoming, being brave, letting go. I think too, and then also like I think that one thing I never did is there's two things is like I had at that time I was always a people pleaser. No longer a people pleaser. And then the second thing is teaching people how to treat me. I think those are the different things that I learned
Mm.
that has surprised me is like I don't tolerate, I have standards for my life. I don't tolerate BS. And because of that, I have valuable relationships in my life that I am so blessed to even have. And so I think that's what really surprises me. What about you?
As you said, a lot I changed and taught us a lot in those 5 years. So definitely more resilient.
Yeah.
I actually learned who I was in my 40s,
Mhm.
and I'm 44 now. And it literally, these past 5 years has really shown me who Bhavna is as a woman, as an individual, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a daughter, as an ex, as a future partner. I am I've come to learn who I am. And it took nearly 39 years to figure that out. So it's never too late,
I was gonna
and
say
you're never a failure.
no.
Um, I think that term of failure, I think if you don't learn and you don't
Hmm.
pick yourself up and you don't change trajectory and you don't shift your mindset, then you're a
Hmm.
failure. But if you're doing everything within your power to move forward
Hmm.
and embrace change, and you're doing it wiser than you were before, do whatever needs to be done.
And like I feel like the most successful people out there have failed
You have to
miserably.
fail, because how else are you going to
Hmm.
learn?
You
How
have,
else are you going to learn? Yes, there
yeah.
are fortunate people that start a business venture and it's successful from day one. There are people that fall in love with their high school sweetheart and they end up being married for donkey's years, having big families, and dying at like grand old ages of 80, 90, 100 years
Mhm.
old. That time is gone now.
But everybody has failures. You could have the most amazing relationship, but have failures at your workplace or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So
Um,
there's an interesting question. Was there a moment when you realized your original plan wasn't happening? So
uh,
one question is, did, you don't have to say what it was there a plan? And then,
yeah,
like, when did you realize said plan wasn't going to happen?
I think for me, I think my most immediate one was a program I'm launching for my self love bestie. Um, uh, it was supposed to be launched last year, to be honest with you. And I think for me is that plan it didn't go according to plan because I got sick. And so I think that, you know, it's learning when to pivot and it's learning to be like, you know what, letting go. I think that that's what something that I've learned in life is that things are never going to go according to plan. And especially us being in the event planning industry, like we did weddings and every one of our, like every one of my weddings ever planned, like something went crazy. But we always just figured it out. And it may not have gone according to plan, like, but we always figured it out. And I think that letting go of control and realizing that the right time may not be today, but it will be tomorrow was what I took away from it. And so, yeah, I think that was one of my things is that, you know, that was something that was big that I worked on so hard and it didn't go according to plan. How about you?
The whole purpose of moving to Dallas didn't exactly
Mm.
go the way I wanted to. And I realized soon after moving here that I felt like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm.
Like I had to make the move for the kids, but did I want to make the move for myself? Probably not at the time. And then I couldn't go back. You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Just pack up my stuff and go back with the kids? It's, it was a very, I don't know.
You know what comes to mind is like immediately when you said that it wasn't like for you, it's like At what point in your life did you start doing things for you?
Never.
But you said,
I've always done, like, growing up, it was for my parents and my family. And then I got married to Jasmine's dad, and it was for him and his family, because now I'm the daughter-in-law, I take on their so-called family's respect is all on my shoulders. And then when I left, it was back into being doing
Mhm.
stuff for Jasmine and then my family. And then I met my ex, and then it was doing for him and then his family again. So it was never.
So I guess it's like now it's like the finally the
That's
time.
what I was saying. It was like in my
Yeah,
40s,
like
I grew to
yeah.
understand who I am. And even still now at 44, I'm still learning to navigate Bhavna in the real
Mhm.
world,
Or
which is
like
insane,
yeah,
which
this
is
is
insane.
yeah,
So
having this
don't think
conversation.
you are a failure if you're starting again at 50. That's fine. It's
Mhm.
not an issue.
And like life gives you life, and I think that that's something that you just when life gives you life, you just learn to pivot. And so, with that being said, is like I think both of us pivoted in our career multiple times. I know B, you have like in your career, how many businesses did you
I don't
guys?
even know.
And you had to each time B picks up herself and
And
she pivots and
and
learns.
yeah, it'd be a new business we'd start, and or there'd be a new opportunity that would come our way, and you just fake it till you make it, and you learn. And I'm still being mum, being at the time wife, homemaker, but still learning,
A new betray
uh,
and a new skill.
but continuing past skills, because that
Yeah.
never stops.
I think as long as you have strong soft skills, you can pivot. For me, I pivoted, graduated college. I opened a wedding planning business. I worked as a office manager for photographer. I went into corporate. I worked for a startup as employee number three, doing vendor relations. I went into a corporate company doing account management. I did sales. I'm still in sales. I've done various different type of jobs, and then like that's just corporate, but then also I use my skills in leadership, like chairing a nonprofit. I mean, being in leadership positions in different kind of organizations I'm part of. Like, I think that as long as you have an open mindset and you utilize your skills, like, and you have like a learning mentality, like as you say, is like a an open mindset. I think you're able to take on. And you know what? One thing also is that you have a mentality saying, I can do instead of I can't. And I
Yeah.
think if you just believe in yourself, anything's
And
open.
yeah, and it doesn't mean, oh, you believe in and it's always going to work out. There's a chance that it might not,
Guys,
but you're not going to know unless you do it.
I've
It's
had
really as simple as that.
I got my real estate license in between during all this craziness too. And guys, real estate wasn't for me. I had a business consulting business, which I liked, but it wasn't for me. I had multiple different failed businesses, and they weren't really failed because I got clients, but then I just didn't feel right in my heart that it was meant for me. But I say all of this to say that you don't know if you don't take that chance on you,
Hmm.
and no one's going to take a chance on you if you don't take a chance on you.
What she said.
Health challenges. I mean,
Mm.
we pivoted and we learned. I mean, I think B and I both have gone through different health experiences, and
Yeah, they're both varied. Then we've not been through the same thing.
yeah, you know, we can't. We can only we can only share our experiences with each other. We can sympathize, but we can't empathize because we haven't been through
Through
it.
it, yeah,
But even with that, I think that the one thing that I had to shift in my just like my mentality is that health is wealth.
absolutely.
And if you don't have help, and
You
this
have
goes out
nothing.
to, yeah, and then this goes out especially to the people out there who are, you know, they're working like so hard, endless hours on their business, trying to get to your business goals. That's amazing, but put your health first
Yeah,
because
because what's the point if you're gonna burn out? Because burning out is real. It's so real, and then when it hits you, you won't even know. It's not like a gradual thing. It's gonna come like that.
and your body's always going to burn out because like guess what? Your body's going to tell you until like, you can't do it, and that's when you get sick.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
friendship endings.
I don't look at friendship ending as a failure. For me, that is like a chapter that's closed, and that's okay. And sometimes there is, an element of sadness, sometimes, depending on how long you've known someone, the experiences you've been through. But ultimately, if friendships end, they end for a reason. Some people, Kit's mentioned this to me before in the past, like some people are just in your life for a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have times where you can think back and reminisce and think and be happy about that. But are they going to be a passenger in your life moving forward? Like, do they bring value? And that's okay if somebody doesn't. It's just, do you want to carry? And it's horrible for me to say it this way, but it's like dead weight.
Mm-hmm.
And Kit and I are in the same boat where we feel like a dead weight in a friendship. There's no point in that.
That holds you back though. Like I don't think that it. I think that yeah, what B was saying is friends coming for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and a lot of your friends that you'll see is going to be for that season period.
Yeah, because there's a lot of friends that are just like not even face value. They don't cheer you on. I mean, Kit and I have also noticed that, it's the people that we've known for a short amount of time that are the ones that are all gung ho about all the things we do and always liking our posts. And the ones that say that they're true friends are the ones that aren't. They're the ones that just watch eerily in the background.
And I think that for me and for you too, I think that where we come from is, ever since we were little, like we went through friendship issues, and I think that you do feel pain, but I think at times it's like, what lesson did I learn, and what lesson did I learn from this relationship, and then you just move forward, and
That's
that's
it.
it, and no hard feelings, nothing. It's just like that friendship was here for the season. It taught me a lesson. Moving forward, relationships that taught hard lessons.
I don't think we
I
have enough
think
time to talk about that one.
Yeah, I think that every relationship, as I mentioned, teaches you something, and it's up to you to have that mindset of being like, what did this relationship teach me, and how can I break this cycle? And once you decide on that, then you will no longer entertain those type of relationships and those cycles. And that's what I learned, and then that's a pivot that I'm taking from this.
What she said. Like I said, if I start talking, it's never gonna stop.
Losing confidence.
Ooh, yeah. You're bound to lose confidence. We all do. We don't look a certain way, or we didn't get the job we wanted, or the business wasn't successful, or your relationship ended, and you lose confidence. And that is just a factor of life. You have to learn how to understand that emotion, don't disregard it, and understand what that feeling is teaching you, and then sit with that, and then figure out the next path. And I know it's easier said than done because trust me, it's not easy. None of these things are easy because we talk about our life lessons and how we've pivoted and how we've learned and how we've grown. But we've not shown you the scars that have come along the way.
No,
It wasn't plain sailing. The
no,
amount of tears we both cried, the amount of stress we've both been through,
no.
how much our bodies have changed since. It's, it, we are ever evolving. And you need to understand it's not something that you lose confidence and you're going to get it back the next day. It's all baby steps. And first of all, you have to give yourself grace in all of
Mm.
this. You have to give yourself grace. I think, I mean, Kit tells me all the time. I've learned not to give very many people grace anymore. I've learned to hone in on that. But there are times where I still catch myself giving other people grace, and it's like,
Mhm.
what did we say we're not doing anymore? You need to stop doing that. You need to give yourself grace first. And it's hard when you lose confidence because I wasn't taught how to be confident. And when I felt like I was confident, it came across as ego because I didn't know any different.
Mhm.
And then the more you get to learn, I'm like, okay, I want to be confident and humble. That's really hard. And I still don't have it down, but I know that there is like, I can see that silver lining where I'm like, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
but we're not perfect in this.
No.
No, we are not perfect in this at all.
I agree with everything that B says. The only thing I do have to say is that being confident is being okay with failures and still believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
I think that's it, is being okay. Failure's going to happen in all aspects of your life, and being okay and you loving you. That's confidence. Is that, you know what? I got this. I believe in me. If no one else does, I believe in me. That's confidence. But everything else B said is 100%.
Period.
Our next is going to be what we know now.
Right. Boundaries aren't walls. And I think sometimes how I felt that was what boundaries were. It's like you know what you want and you put a wall around what you want, and that wall isn't going to move. And I think because we don't truly understand what boundaries are, that's where we get conflict within ourselves and with others. Um, but that's a bit of a difficult journey.
I think that, like, I like to think of boundaries kind of like as a gate, right? It's like you respect my gate, I'll open my gate to you. If you don't respect my gate, I'm going to close my gate. And it's like a fence, like a little white picket fence. And I think that a lot of times, like in the beginning, is when I was not a healed and healthy version of myself, I didn't know what boundaries were. And I realized that the people I was operating around, they were unhealed too. And so when you have a bunch of unhealed people in the same room, you guys don't have boundaries. And so once you start implementing boundaries, which are hard as is,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to be like, oh, you're putting a wall up, you're putting this guard up. And they're going to make comments because they don't understand what boundaries are. But if you have two healed and healthy people having boundaries up, you get it and you're like, okay, I respect you. It's just like how you respect your neighbor. I respect that. Like, no worries, I understand. And I think when you operate like that, understanding and being around who your circle is, as you elevate, your circle is going to elevate around you too. So you're going to be healthier, you're going to be healed, and you're going to be around like-minded people. So people like me, we have boundaries and we share all the time. And we could be upset when I say, no, I want to focus on this project I'm working on instead of coming over, or whatever it may be. And that's a boundary that I have for myself because I have goals.
Mm-hmm.
And she understands. She's like, okay, cool, girl, no worries. And that's because we both have worked on ourselves and we're a healthier version. And we understand these boundaries, you know? So I think that boundaries are a great thing. And I don't think you should be afraid of it. It's you standing up for you and you showing yourself grace.
Absolutely. Oh, this is a good one. Peace is more valuable than proving yourself.
I think that this one, I like this one because I like silence sometimes. Sometimes I don't have to prove myself. Like, I protect peace at all costs. I think that
Mm-hmm.
if if my peace is disarrayed, then there's something wrong with that picture. And how can I protect my peace is what the first question I ask myself. And if I don't have peace, and if there's a certain person, thing, whatever it may be, that's disturbing it, what can be the quickest resolve? Because I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I have peace within. So that's my that's when I start exiting the building, just so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, you have to protect your peace. It's all the noises happening today. But yeah, protecting your peace is utmost important, and it's all about giving yourself grace. And this kind of coincides with the next point is the right opportunities don't require you to shrink, and they shouldn't. And it's really as simple as that. If you feel like you have to shrink yourself to achieve something, even like whether it be in your relationship or in your corporate career, that is a red flag that you need to address.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's World Cup too, guys.
yeah, we had the World Cup in the background. I think that in the end of the day, that if you ever have to shrink in any area of your life, then no.
No,
And whether that's in a relationship, that's in a friendship, that's in a job, that's in whatever, if
yeah,
it's requiring you to not be genuine and authentic and
it's
to
not for
shrink,
you.
it's not for you.
Yeah, it truly isn't. And this point, I truly highly believe in, and I tell so many people that rest is productive. And I talk about rest when it comes to when you're like on your health journey, when people are learning to like work out, and we all go gung ho. I mean, I did. I was doing it nearly every day, and I didn't really rest. But rest is important. Rest is important for your mental state. As mums, we don't make time for rest. And when we do rest, we there's a form of guilt around that resting time. And the person that you're with can make you feel guilty and project shitty energy to you and make you feel like you're not being productive. So rest is really truly important, especially if you're a mom. Um,
I think rest is productive for everyone because you're going to avoid burnout. You're going to avoid being irritable. You're going to avoid whatever it is.
yeah.
Everything requires rest. Your
Mhm.
body requires rest.
And your mind. And
Mm.
also rest gives you an opportunity to just calmly think things through, and it gives you the chance to, like when we were talking earlier about journaling and things like that, get that in. That's rest.
A restart.
Yeah. Our next point is you can't heal while pretending everything's fine. That is pretty much the title of my life, literally,
Man, yeah.
because outwardly everything is fine in my life. If you were to meet me and you're a stranger, you'd think there's nothing wrong. And not to say like my life is in complete disarray, but I mean,
Mm.
it's not exactly perfect either.
I think that that healing requires self-awareness.
Hmm.
And I think that's the biggest key is when you keep on pushing everything under the rug, eventually the rug is going to have a huge pile and you're going to have to deal with it. So I think you can't keep on saying everything is fine. I think that healing is taking a look at what's bothering you and thinking what do I want to tackle today? And it doesn't have to be everything. You can just start with one thing. And I think that that self-awareness is being okay. Be like, you know what? Everything's not fine, but it's okay. I'll get through this. I think that's healing because when you say everything's okay, you're pushing it under the rug. But you saying that everything's not okay, but I will tackle it. I'm gonna face it onwards one step at a time. That's healing.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
And this is something both Kit and I believe in, is that your intuition is often right before your mind catches up.
Mhm.
That is so true. If you feel something in your gut, just take a second to truly understand what your body is telling you. Yeah. There's so many times, right? We're like, oh,
I have gut feelings and I've canceled trips, I've canceled so many different things.
mm-hmm.
And it's like crazy because like my intuition always isn't my intuition never leads me wrong. When I don't listen to my intuition is when things go wrong.
Yeah.
And so I learned that a long time. And your intuition is your body's basically your GPS system is telling you when something's going on, and it will protect you.
That's right. So let's talk about how we're going to start wiser, Kit.
Okay, this is when. What are you going to be doing differently now?
I'm going to get a therapist. So that's going to help me with my boundaries and my healing. Because again, I've come to know who I am. Now I need to, because I kept telling the world and myself, lying to everyone that everything's fine. It's not. So I feel like the next step for me to be even more wiser is to go to therapy and kind of release all of that so I can be wiser.
I love that, and that kind of ties into what mine would be too. Is a lot of times it's like keeping promises to myself,
Yeah.
and I think that that goes with what you're saying is saying something and then doing it. I think a lot of times that I put things on the back burner. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I don't have a deadline. I don't get to it, and
Yeah.
then I get frustrated when it doesn't happen. So I think that keeping promises to myself is very important because that just teaches me trust. It teaches me that I can let go. That teaches me to relax, and it regulates my nervous system. So, and it's the most powerful form of self love too. Is you teaching yourself that you could trust you. Um, what standards have changed? Woo. Girl, we know this one.
So many.
Mhm. I think this that
We know what we want.
we've elevated our lives, so we no longer tolerate a lot of what we tolerated.
Yeah. I think if we're using our 5 year window, right? Within that 5 years, I've again resilient. I've grown to know who I am. I understand myself more and I know what I want. And I also know what I want from others. And it's still a learning journey for me. But there were things that I would compromise on, a lot of things I would compromise on. There's a lot of things that I don't anymore.
I think also too is like 100% what he's saying, and it's like also one of the standards that you've probably heard from us a lot is not giving people too much grace, and I don't
No,
feel like we give that grace anymore. I mean,
give it to yourself.
we give it to us, and we're like, nope, we don't tolerate that, and I think that's powerful. Is like with that, it comes respect, and like lots changed in our lives because of our standards that we
Yeah.
uphold.
Yeah. And then it's like, what are you, what won't you compromise on anymore?
I just my time. I don't compromise my time for anything. I think that my time is valuable
Absolutely.
and I'm not going to give it freely if I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. If you don't respect me, that means you don't respect my time.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then what excites you most about the season?
New opportunities.
I was going to say that we're becoming,
Our true selves.
yeah, like that's it. It's like B and I are no longer going to be, dimmed or suppressed. And like, we're going to be operating at 110. Like, this is who we are normally. And I think that we are going to be saying yes, opportunities. We're going to be doing things that we enjoy. We are going to be living our lives to our best. And with that, we are going to, go head on with any challenges, our healing, with anything that comes our way because we're not afraid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's resiliency. And that's us saying, like, you know what? Bring it on. But we're going to have a lot more great times ahead of us because that's what we're putting out there.
Exactly. And life is always going to give you a lesson, whether you like it or not. It's what you do with said lesson. It's that's going to make the greatest difference in your life, because I know I've been given some shitty lessons.
Yeah, and I think about that too. I think about all the lessons in life and all the cycles that we break. And you know, I would rather go through life and go through and do these lessons again than, because I think out of it I've become so much more wiser, and we're able to be here and be like big sisters to you guys and share and be like, you know what, it's okay. Like, yeah, we went through this and it was shit. But guess what?
It gets better.
It gets better. And guess what? We become like these resilient queens because we've been through it and we're able to navigate seasons and we're able to be stronger and being like, you know what? And the end of it, any challenge, there's always a silver lining. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and things are gonna always
Work out first.
work out, and it's gonna be 10 times even better for us. Like, if you didn't move here from England, then we wouldn't have rekindled our friendship like the way we have. I wouldn't have a best friend that I share life with, and like I went through some of the hardest things, and I can imagine if he wasn't there for me during those times. And then also it's like she kind of took me back out of that hermit mode and she put me back in my element. And I think that when you realize it, it's like it gets there's always a blessing at the end of it. And when you take those opportunities and or those challenges and make it into an opportunity to learn, that's greatness.
Absolutely.
So with this episode, we want to challenge you guys to think about all the setbacks that you guys have had in your life, and then how has it made you a better person? And if you can't think of any, it's okay.
Yeah.
But just take some time and really dig into that. And we'd love to hear what your story, your journey.
Yeah, because again, we are older sisters. We've been through it, and coming from a South Asian community, we know how difficult it is to break the barriers, break the mold, be free thinking.
Mhm.
It's you're going against a lot.
And I mean, even if you're not in the South Asian community, like whoever you are, and like we've all been through it. Like,
Yeah.
just know that you're not alone, and you can always reach out to us too.
Mm-hmm.
We're not therapists. We're just going to this is for educational purposes only.
Absolutely, because I gotta get one.
we're not giving you medical advice.
Absolutely not.
We're here to just give you guys.
Don't forget to take your medication if you need it. You know.
This is educational purposes.
This is educational
only.
purposes only.
But with that being said,
don't forget to follow us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and our website, www.teatimewithbeingkit.com, and find us on Spotify.
love
Love
you
you
guys.
guys.